Mhuri yeZimbabwe kusangana kwatiri kuita zvakarepo pano paZim News update apo patinoda kupa first hand update anonga ari kuitika munyika yedu yeZimbabwe. So kana uri muswa usabve pano usina kusubscribe, kulike nekushare. So ndine maupdates akati wandei ndiri kuya ndakabatanidza pasame video tiri kuona mhuri yeZimbabwe chiitiko chiri kuitika muno munyika yeZimbabwe hazvina kumira zvakanaka apo patiri kuona amai Oppah Muchinguri Kashiri varatidza munzuva ranhasi kuti vari kusapota vice president Chiwenga sezvo zvatiri kuziva kuti vice president Chiwenga havasiri muno munyika pari zvino vaenda kunyika yeUganda kuri kuitwa inauguration yavaYoweri Museveni. Chinova chiricho chiratidzo chinoratidza kuti hazvina kumira zvakanaka. Tichapinda munhau yacho iyoyo tonyatsa kuzivisa kuti zvakamira sei in details yanaYoweri Museveni iyoyo. Tichiona zvo chicharamba futi mhuri yeZimbabwe aripo pakusapota futi vice president Chiwenga sezvo zvatiri kuona kuti vari kutonetsana naTemba Muliswa, bo Temba Muliswa ari kumhanya nezvegananda because Temba Muliswa is after man anonga achikoda mari chete, so ari kumhanya nezvegananda. So tiri kuona panapa vice president Chiwenga or vaMunangagwa vari kuzama kusvibisa zita rapresident ravice president Chiwenga because tiri kuona kuti kwese kuri kuitwa maelection akasviba kuSouthern Africa or kuEastern Africa kuri kutumwa vice president Chiwenga because ngatitarise maelection akaitwa naMuseveni haana kuchena because Museveni ane 46 years achitonga nyika yeUganda. Chinova chiricho chiratidzo chinoratidza kuti zvina zvinomira zvakanaka because tiri kuona kuti akabirira Bobi Wine because Bobi Wine tiri kungomuonawo munomu ndiva Nelson Chamisa, akangofanana nawo Nelson Chamisa because ndiye ane big opposition sort of like kuSouth Africa naJulius Malema ndo ane mabig opposition. So Bobi Wine ndiye ane big opposition kuUganda. So tiri kuona kuti akabirirwa seri neseri navaMuseveni because vaMuseveni vangori kuma 70 something percent, but tiri kuona kuti nguva yekukampena chaiyo kumarali kwavo kwakusvikauyi vanhu mhuri yeZimbabwe. So tiri kuona ndo kuri kutumwa vice president Chiwenga kuti vangu vachisvibiswa zita rokuti no murume uyu ari kuenda kunopemberera kana kunoatenda inauguration yavaMuseveni munhu asina kuvhotewa. Tichipinda futi kuTanzania ndo akatumwa futi because maelection ekuTanzania anga asina kumira zvakanaka mhuri yeZimbabwe. Maelection ekuTanzania pari kunzi pakafa vanhu over 800 vanhu vakafa kuTanzania vari kubairwa nemasoja vachiitwa zvinhu zvakasiyana siyana because tiri kuona kuti muno muna 2018 at least zvaive 9 pademo iyaya tiri kuona kuti makafa vanhu 7 but kuTanzania kwakafa vanhu over 800. So tiri kuona kwakatumwa vice president futi Chiwenga kuti waende kuinauguration ikoko kuti vanhu vanga vachiti no murume uyu ari kuenda pemberera inauguration yapresident akasviba kudaro because tiri kuona kuti kwese kunoitwa mafree and fair election murunyararo paBotswana ndiwa Munangagwa wakaenda yanga iri free and fair, kuMalawi ndiwa Munangagwa wakaenda yanga iri free and fair, toona paSouth Africa ndiwa Munangagwa wakaenda yanga iri free and fair, but kwese kunoitwa maelection akasviba tiri kuona kunoenda vice president Chiwenga ndiwa anonzi waende because tiri kuona munomu makauya mapresident I think matatu chete vakauya, vamwe vese havana kumboya because makaiswa maelection akasviba mhuri yeZimbabwe. So ndo nhau dzataita kubatira pano tira kuti munzwe vanhu vanenge vachipatsanura nhau dzeconstitutional amendment bill number 3 kuti pamazuva mashoma asaraya tinoita sei kuti tinge tichirimisa constitutional amendment bill number 3. Ndira kusei muchiteerera kana uri mutsa wasabva nosina kusubscribe, kulike nekushare kuti patinenge tichisa next update musazorasikirwa nezvinenge zvichiitika muno munyika yeZimbabwe. Ngatinzwei vachitaura.
And a structural system that had created the opportunities for him to exist in that industry. A personal need for connectivity. People needed to communicate more faster, more whatever. The world is changing, right?
Sister,
So that's why even when he releases a SIM card that costs your cow, you buy it because there's a great need for people to have connectivity in this modern world.
Yes.
You understand? But it's
My
needed
sister, you talked
somebody
about
within that system to regulate.
Can I ask a question too?
You talked about Strife Masiwa. You know, I like that example that you gave, because do you know that ZANU-PF was frustrating Strife Masiwa for years and years and years until Babawe to Joshua Nkomo intervened. One day, Mugaba Asipo Nkomo did something, approve a license as Strife Masiwa. The government can work for you or it can work against you. I just wanted to say that's a good example.
Can I ask a question, Citizen Justice? Marcia, I hope you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Marcia, can I go ahead? Yeah, Citizen Justice. I have a question. I admire what you said, just what you said not too long ago. But quick question. As Cape 3 is coming right now, I'm just asking you a question. And what you brought up with your point, how about implementing your points? Because the way I look at it, like as we talk right now, we have Cape 3 couple days is coming up and everything. As right here, we're just citizens, and like I've told people, you guys, we need to unite as citizens because we've been screwed messed up by politicians and some of our leaders and all that stuff. We're citizens right here. And as Cape 3 comes in, I like the some of the points you brought up here. What is your view when it comes to if anything goes, whatever they decide about Cape 3? What's your view as a ordinary citizen? Like I've told people, we need to take powers from these politicians. And as citizens, we have to be prepared. What comes out of here, we can stand up for our rights. This is how things are going to run. What do you think? What's your point of view after in the next couple of days with Cape 3 if things don't work out, or if it does work out and whatever comes out, what I'm saying, as citizens.
Yes. As citizens, obviously, like I said, these are people who have got vested interest. They are going to vote for Cape 3 because the MPs are going to benefit from Cape 3. Because remember, we are talking MPs who are no longer popular within their own communities. And the ED is not popular at all in Zimbabwe. So there are people that are unelectable, that are now electing each other into power and extending each other's power. And it's illegal. What they are doing is illegal. So number one, I'm glad that we are going through the court system because even though the court, we can say it's captured, but they cannot extend and justify this one. It is not even justifiable, in the court of law. So it's being challenged in the court of law. And if they go ahead and say this, it's going to trigger a lot of things. Number one, there can be civil unrest in Zimbabwe. Number two, they can approve their new constitution without the participation of people. So, which means that they've gone ahead with their what they are calling a new constitution, but it's also as Zimbabwean people, we are still holding on to the constitution that we know is the legal constitution. So just because they are climbing on top of a tree and shouting, this is the new constitution, this is the new constitution, does not mean that we have to agree with them as citizens. It's also we continue holding on to our old constitution because we cannot have a constitution that is done by 3 people or 10 people.
All right.
We ED and disregarders. So there's going to be a public outcry, which is already there, but it's also we have got the right to agree with the new constitution or to continue disagreeing with the new constitution. Just because they have signed each other into power does not mean it's also we are in agreement. It's also true 2028 there's going to be elections, whether they like it or not.
Yeah, all right, my sister, let me ask you a question. Zanu, that's bigger too much. You know what I'm saying? Let me give you an example. I think Masi was here one time. We spoke. Remember, Zimbabwe wasn't working 2013. They went into unity government. Isusuma citizens, we
policy, you have the problem, I mean to say, agenda setting. So ZANU-PF is setting their own agenda, and it's also with as citizens, we are saying we also have an agenda. We have an agenda of stopping corruption. We have an agenda of stopping the bleeding that is happening in our country. So policy formulation, inenge ine vanhu vakagara who are making decisions on our behalf. These are MPs who have been bought, who are now making decisions on our behalf. That's why you cannot just work with a government that doesn't listen. to the people that hired them? How are you going to implement my policies that work for people when policy proposals are being done by Shiganandas? How are you going to, even if we evaluate all the policies of ZANU-PF from 1980 to right now, I cannot even pinpoint one policy, yes, ZANU-PF, including land distribution, that has worked for us. Because land distribution, it was done, let's just say it was done in good faith, but it had unintended consequences. Because instead of distributing land to all of us, the land was distributed to the 1% who now own vast tracts of land. Then 40 years later, they are now saying, oh, now we have to reverse some of the things that we do and give back the land to the white people. Because it was not done correctly. It was done by people who were just greedy, who just grabbed the land and they continued looting government coffers and living luxuriously in Borodale and not even doing anything to invest. And on top of that, they also came up with a policy that the government can give people fertilizers. Trucks and trucks of fertilizers and chemicals that is funded by the government. And that money, the government does not even get it back. So you cannot separate what's happening at the political from what is happening at the personal. The poverty, it's because of ZANU-PF policies that are not working for us. And we are saying enough is enough.
Sorry, quick one.
How do you work with a government that doesn't listen to you? How do you work with a government that policy proposals do not benefit Gananda instead of benefiting a child of Zimbabwe? All of us, the 99%, we are not benefiting. Thank you.
Sorry, quick question. So from